Hello, welcome to this video. I'm PBS the tutor. In this video, we'll be looking at 2020 Biology Paper 1. This is the final paper. So, let's begin. Question 1 says, which of the following is not a characteristic of living organisms? Now, we know that living organisms, they have characteristics such as movement, respiration, photosynthesis, reproduction, etc. Now, which one is not a characteristic of all? So the key part is all. Now, no, is it because not all organisms are able to excrete? All organisms are able to excrete. All organisms are able to reproduce. All organisms are able to respire. So the answer is B. Okay. So the answer is B. Photosynthesis. Not all organisms are able to photosynthesize. For example, human beings. Question 2. Question 2 says, the diagram below shows a mesophyll cell of a leaf. Which labeled structures are not found in liver cells of a human being? Now, liver cells are animal cells. Which ones are not found in an animal cell? Now, from here we can tell clearly that 1 and 5, 1 the cell wall, 5 is the chloroplast, they are not found in a liver cell. Question 3. The diagram below shows an experiment to demonstrate the movement of molecules. Have a beaker, water, invented a funnel, red ink solution, select paper membrane attached to funnel. It says, after 1 hour, the water in the beaker turns red. What is the most likely reason for this color change? Molecules of, so let's see which one is the answer. Is it molecules of red ink move through the membrane by diffusion? Is it red ink move through the membrane by osmosis? Water move through the membrane by diffusion. Water move through the membrane by osmosis. Now, there's one thing that we need to understand here, is that we have water and red ink. This is a dye. A dye will always move by diffusion. Okay? Now, they are saying after 1 hour, the water in the beaker turned red. The water in this beaker became red. Okay? That means the ink was going where? Was going in the water there. And that can only occur by diffusion. So it's red ink moved through the membrane by diffusion, not by osmosis. So it's the red ink that was moving in to where water is by diffusion. Then question 4 says, the graph below shows the effect of pH on a particular enzyme controlled reaction. Have a rated reaction here and have pH here. At which point is the enzyme not active? Now, when for an enzyme to not be active in terms of pH is when pH is too low or when pH is too high. Now, when you look at this point here, 13 is the last point there where the graph is reaching. And 1 here is that's where it's starting. We're starting from 0. But the pH 1 and 13, the pH 1 becomes the lowest and the pH 13 becomes also the highest. So at the higher pH, what do you expect? The enzymes are not active. At the lower pH, the enzymes also are not active. So the answer here is A. Then, let's go to question 5. Which of the following food nutrients would produce a purple color when mixed with burette reagent? Now, we know that burette reagent is used for testing the presence of proteins in a food sample. Now, which of the following would produce SB, the protein? Which of the following correctly identifies disorders caused by lack of vitamin C, roughage, and proteins? Now, vitamin C, what if you don't have vitamin C? What are you likely to suffer from? It's scurvy. Roughage is constipation, while protein is kwashiorkor. So the answer is D. 7. Which of the following plant nutrients keeps cell membrane healthy? Which of the following plant nutrients keep cell membrane healthy? The answer is B. Calcium has got the properties of keeping cell membrane healthy. Question 8. The diagram below shows a section through a leaf. Which cell type absorbs the most carbon dioxide during the day? Now, during the day, we have like I was saying, we have a lot of sunlight coming, and carbon dioxide is what is needed in order for a plant to undergo photosynthesis. Now, which one absorbs much? Now, we have the leaf, which is like this. I'll just draw it. We have the upper leaf, the upper, and the lower bottom. The upper bottom is usually getting more light than the the upper part is getting more carbon dioxide and light than the down part. So what are we concluding? When you talk of carbon dioxide, the cell is what they are looking about, not these or those. The cells that are able to absorb more carbon dioxide are those that are rectangular shaped like this, that are perpendicular to one another. The answer is B. The diagram shows a lysopause. What is the part labeled X? The part labeled X is what we call the sporangium. Okay. The following is the dental formula of a dog. How many molar teeth are there in the upper jaw of this dog? Now we have in the mouth we have something like this. We have the upper and the lower. Now dental formula is always divided into two. So we have this half and this other half. This is what we've been given here. Now they want us to find the number of molar. Now when you come to molar, upper, here we have 2. This is what it means. Okay? And down we have 3. Okay? Now they want to say on the upper jaw alone. That means another half we have 2. Another half we have 3 here. Now we only want the upper jaw. So together when you add them, they're going to give you 4, and the answer becomes C. The diagram shows part of the human digestive system. Which of the organs, A, B, C, or D, carries out deamination of excess amino acids? The answer is B, is the liver. Which of the following correctly identifies part of the respiratory system where gaseous exchange occurs in human, fish, and insects? So in humans, where does gaseous exchange take place? It's in the alveoli. In fish, it's in the gills, while in insects, it's in the flagellum. The answer there is A. We go to question 13. Question 13 says, what is produced during anaerobic respiration in yeast? Now, in yeast, you know that is the fermentation. Now, whenever there is fermentation occurring, what is produced in yeast during anaerobic respiration? Is it lactic acid, carbon dioxide? Therefore, we have only carbon dioxide. Now, this is what you need to understand. There is the alcoholic fermentation. There's also lactic fermentation. In human beings, we have lactic fermentation, while in plants, we have alcoholic fermentation. So, in yeast, carbon dioxide is produced, lactic acid is not produced. So, the answer is C. Let's go to question 14. Question 14 says, which of the following is a pathogenic disease? Pathogenic disease is a disease caused by a pathogen. Cholera is caused by a pathogen known as Corelli. So Corelli. It's a pathogen that causes malaria. Which conditions of humidity, light intensity, and temperature below makes transpiration rate the highest? Now, when you look at that, for transpiration to be high, light intensity must be high, temperature must be moderate, while humidity must be low. Why do we say humidity must be low? Here's the thing. When you talk of humidity, you're talking of the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere. So if you have more water in the atmosphere, that means the plant is likely to lose less water in the atmosphere. So, but when the plant has more water, and there is low humidity in the atmosphere, that means more water will be lost because there is less water in the atmosphere. So there the answer comes in A. Question 16 says, which of the following components is responsible for the clotting of blood? Now, for blood to clot, we need platelets, and platelets is a component of blood. Question 17, the diagram below shows the human circulatory system. Which of the parts, A, B, C, or D, carries oxygenated blood at lower pressure? Now, oxygenated blood is, so we have parts. We have this part, the other part. So, on this question, we have the part that carries oxygenated blood while the other part carries deoxygenated blood. Now, here they're talking about the part that carries oxygenated blood. This part here carries oxygenated blood, while the other part here carries deoxygenated blood. Okay, this part carries blood rich in oxygen. This part carries blood rich in what? Carbon dioxide. Now, which one carries oxygenated blood at low pressure? Now, when you look at these are the lungs. From here, we don't have any. From here, we have a blood vessel that is carrying blood from the lungs all the way to the heart. All right. So the answer is what? Is B there. Question 18.
Yeah.
Question 18. The table below shows the percentage composition of some chemicals found in blood entering the kidney of a healthy person. Chemical, glucose, protein, urea. Composition, we have 0.18 and 0.03%. What is the percentage composition of the above chemicals in the urine of the healthy person? Now, we have urea, we have protein, sorry, we have glucose, protein, urea. Now, in a healthy person, that's what we are talking about. A healthy person, in the urine that comes out, remember, it's an excretory product. Hence, it doesn't have glucose, can't have proteins. But the yellowish of the urine, it indicates the presence of what? Of urea. That means it's going to have urea. It's also going to have other components, but proteins can't come out and glucose can't come out because these are very important nutrients needed in the body. So here the answer is in A. Question 19 says, the graph shows the air temperature and body temperature during a 24-hour period. So you can see that the body temperature is there and it's very high. We have the air temperature there is moderate. Which mechanism may help to maintain the body temperature between 18 hours and 24 hours? Now 18 hours is here and 24 hours here. Now when you look at 18 hours and 24 hours, is they're saying the temperature there is high. It's 40 there, you can even tell. Now, to decrease the temperature or to make the temperature moderate, what are we supposed to do? Or which mechanism can help? Now, during hot conditions, we have vasoconstriction of arterioles near the skin. At the same time, during cold, we have what? We have vasodilation. Sorry, when the temperature is low, that means to prevent the loss of heat to the surrounding, we have vasoconstriction, in which the blood vessels reduce in size to prevent more blood from flowing there. So, to maintain this temperature at 40, we need to prevent the heat loss. And that can only happen when the arterioles near the skin, they have reduced in size. They have vasoconstricted. That's why we are going for A, for C, sorry. 20. The diagram shows the endocrine glands in a human being. Which hormones are produced by gland R, S, and T? So gland, let's first name. What is gland R? Gland R is the pituitary gland. Okay, you must know that. while gland S is the adrenal gland. All right. While gland T, you can look that that's the pancreas. So we'll be able now to tell. So R is the pituitary gland, S is the adrenal gland, then T it's the what? It's the T is the pancreas. R being the pituitary gland, it produces antidiuretic hormone. S adrenal gland, it produces the adrenaline, of course. Then the pancreas, it produces insulin and the glucagon. So the answer is A. 21. The diagram below shows a reflex arc. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The question is, what is the correct order of message of nerve impulses after the knee is tapped? Now, when the knee is tapped here, how do nerves, what's the direction? Okay. So the direction is from here, okay? The nerves will move like this. It will move from 4, okay? To move from 4, that arrow, like that. Then from 4, we've seen this, eh? There's something here. There's something here. There's also something this side. So it will move rather than from here, it will move this side to R. This is the sensory neuron, okay? That's a sensory neuron. Then it will go all the way into the central nervous system there. It will find what the relay neuron. Then from the relay neuron, it will come all the way with the motor neuron. This is a motor neuron all the way up to here. Now this part here, which has been labeled as 3, is the effector organ. Then up to 3. So there is 4, 1, 2, 3. Answer is C. What role do the ciliary muscle, suspensory ligaments, and lens play to focus a nearby object? Now, ciliary muscles, these are muscles which are found here. Let me just draw a sample of the eye. Ciliary muscles are muscles which are found here. Then suspensory ligaments are those more like muscles or fibers that are able to touch the eye, so to make sure that the eye is in perfect position. Then the lens is the same one, which is short like this. Now, what are the functions of this? So the ciliary muscles, whenever you are viewing a nearby object, means an object is closer. What do? 1, they contract. Whenever the ciliary muscles contract, that means they are enabling you to view something which is nearby you. While the suspensory ligaments, they loosen, they become less taut, in short. Then the lens becomes fat, okay? The shape of the lens becomes what? Fat. Why? Because the lens itself is trying to focus on something which is small, or something which is nearby you, sorry. So it's going to be fat and not thin. It can only become thin when you are looking at an object which is very far from you. So the answer is A. Question 23. Which of the following correctly identifies the type and composition of skeleton of an insect? Question 23. So type, composition: endo, cartilage; endoskeleton, keratin; exo, chitin; exo, protein. The answer is C. An exoskeleton goes with chitin. Question 24. In an experiment to investigate phototropism, a plant shoot is grown with light coming from one side only. So there is this light coming from one side only, and after 2 days, it bends toward that. Which regions has the greatest growth after 2 days? Now, for us to know that which one has got the greatest growth after 2 days is the amount of axons present. These are growth hormones in plants. So we need to know which part has got the greatest number of axons. The one with the greatest number of axons is the one which is found here, because that is turning here. We don't consider this part. this part here, it's causing this part to bend. So it's this part which has got a high number of axons. So the growth is actually more there at D. Which environmental condition is not essential for the germination of seed? The answer is A. The diagram below shows a type of asexual reproduction in bacteria. What type of sexual reproduction, reproduction is illustrated? So what you do is that there is this mother or parent bacteria, then it forms something round, okay? Then it divides into two equal daughters. Then these two daughters, then after some point, what do? They break. They form different nuclei. So this is what we call binary fission. 27. The diagram shows the plant that is producing small plantlets. Which statement about the plantlets is correct? They are A, genetically different from the parent plant, B, genetically identical to the parent plant, C, produced as a result of the fusion of the nuclei, D, produced by fertilizing the flowers. What we need to know is that you can even tell from here that these two, they are very identical to this. So these plantlets are identical to the what? To the mother plant. So the answer there becomes B. They are genetically, not just identical, but genetically identical. That means they have the same genes from the mother plant. 28. Flowers show adaptation to wind and insect pollination. Which of the following adaptation are found in a wind pollinated flower? So in a wind pollinated flower, what are you likely to find there? Now, something which is wind pollinated, let me say this is a flower, okay? That means is when wind comes like this is able to go this side, more like to shake, okay? Now, what are you likely to find? You are likely to find the anthers to be loosely attached. Why should they be loosely attached? Because once the anthers are loosely attached, they will be able to drop their pollen easily onto the stigma. Okay, then they don't have nectar because they are more like self-pollinated. They are wind pollinated, so they are only attracting wind and not insects. So they can't have nectar, okay, in them. Then the petals. How are the petals? The petals are, since they're not attracting any kind of insect, that means the petals are not colored, don't have any color, but the color which they have is a dull or dull color. Then how are the stigma? The stigma, they are pendulous. They are like that. Okay, they are quite big, and they are pendulous, so that whenever the pollen comes, it is able to fall easily there. So they are outside the flower. So the answer there is D. Which method of fruit dispersal occurs in coconut plant? Which method of seed dispersal occurs in coconut plant? That's in animal dispersal. People are able to eat coconuts, and they are going to throw whatever remains somewhere else, and those they are going to disperse just like that. For example, monkeys are able to drink coconut juice. 30. The diagram shows the male reproductive system. Which part produces testosterone? Now, testosterone, it's a male sex cell produced by part labeled D, the testes. Which structure is involved in the transfer of dissolved nutrients from the mother to the fetus? From the mother to the fetus is the placenta. Which of the following method of contraception works by inhibiting the production of follicle-stimulating hormone in the pituitary gland? It's the contraceptive pill. People take what we call morning after pills or emergency pills. Okay, the only aim is if here we have something like that. Okay, hormones, sorry, the eggs are being produced here. When you take an emergency pill and a contraceptive pill, it blocks, even if eggs can, it blocks the release of eggs by this. That's what happens with the contraceptive pills. Which of the following characteristics is an example of discontinuous variation in plants? Now, what do we in humans, sorry, what do you know about discontinuous variation? Discontinuous variation has a clear cut, okay, of intermediate. It's also controlled by few or one gene or pair of alleles. Now, which one is an example? It's the tongue rolling. Weight is not discontinuous but is continuous. Height is continuous. Length of foot is continuous. Anything to do with size is continuous. A couple produces a child who is an albino. Okay, albinism is a condition in which the skin pigment is not met. What is the chance that their next child will be an albino? Okay, so what is happening here is this. So they have a couple has a child is an albino. Albinism is a condition which the pigment is not met. What is the chance that their next child will be what? Will be an albino. Now you have chances of having a child which is 50-50, a male and what? And a female. Now here they haven't specified the sex of the child. So if they say this is a mother, okay, this is the father. Okay, let's say A, and let's say A. So A stands for someone who's an albino, and the mother is a carrier of that disease. Okay, let's say like this. The father is okay, the mother is a carrier, but she's not an albino, it's just a carrier. So what you're going to have is here, you're going to have A when you close. Okay, it's going to have something like this. You're also going to have something like this. You're also going to have something like this. Something like this. You're also going to have something like this. Now this one is normal, is not sick. This one is not albino. This one is not an albino but is a carrier of that gene. The only sick person is this one, this side. So it's only 25% because 25 give you 100. So the percentage is only 25%, and the answer is B. Which of the following four vertebrates in the table is a lepta? Okay, which one is a lepta from there? So you'll be able to tell that from there the lepta is A. It has got a scarred face, skin, no hair, 4 limbs, and a tail. Which of the following soil types has the highest nutrition content? Which one has the highest nutrition content? The answer is loam soil, because loam soil, I'm sure, is the one which they even use as for farming. The diagram shows a pyramid of biomass for all organisms in an ecosystem. Which organisms are carnivores? Which organisms are carnivores? The carnivores are those that feed mainly on fresh. And here we have plants as the producers. From there we have what omnivores, like humans. Then we have carnivores that depend on fresh. Okay. Then we have herbivores. You can also find herbivores here because they're able to feed where? On plants. Now the second, which one is a carnivore? Carnivore is P and R. Remember here you can find a carnivore. And R, I also said you can find a carnivore here. Just a correction. this region we have plants as producers. In this region you have carnivores. Even this stage here you have carnivores. This stage here we have omnivores and herbivores. So we can't have A here, can't have B, but we are going to have P and Q as the answer. The diagram below represents the carbon cycle. What process is represented by letter X? Letter X, carbon dioxide, green plants. So now green plants, they are releasing carbon dioxide into the air. What's that process? The answer is respiration. Remember, during respiration, carbon dioxide is produced and is then released in the atmosphere. Overuse of fertilizer on huge farms near water bodies cause the chemical in the fertilizer to be wasted into ponds and lakes. This causes eutrophication, resulting the following events: algae bloom, fish dying, massive growth of bacteria, oxygen depletion. In which order do these events occur? So question 39. These events will occur like this. One is the algae bloom. So the algae, they are going to increase. Once the algae they increase, what happens? There is massive growth of what? Growth of bacteria. After there, then we have oxygen depletion. Then fish will die. This is what happens. A. Which activity will be least likely to lead to the extinction of species? Least likely. Okay? Conservation cannot lead to the what? To the extinction of species. So thank you so much for watching this video with me. I'm PVS the Tutor. Those who don't know my YouTube channel, you can subscribe. It's PVS the Tutor Zambia. You're going to find that YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.